Hey guys, Merry Christmas and welcome back to Likewise Pod. I'm Sam and I will be your host today for this little mini-sode. My first ever video episode of Likewise, which we've wanted to do video for a long time, but it's just really hard for us. We record everything remotely. I live in Nebraska, Issa lives in Seattle, and we FaceTime record, and usually it's like late at night for me. Just like our setup isn't really there yet, and honestly I don't even consume a lot of video content for podcasts, so it's not really where my brain goes, but I do know that there's a lot of people who watch videos of podcasts on YouTube, so we thought it would be super fun to expand a little bit. Issa and I both used to like film and edit and make YouTube videos, so it's kind of like a blend of our hobbies, but now we're finally in a place where we're like, we feel like it's more right for Likewise to have video content, especially where we've been doing mini-sodes this year, so we're super excited for our little Christmas gift to you this year being our little video episodes. So we figured we would both do some booktube type videos on here for if we ever do like bookish minis. That's what will go on our YouTube channel, so more to come on that, and we'll see how much we actually carry through on it, but we're super excited to be doing this today for Christmas. So we are both doing our 5-star reads of the year of 2023, and I'm super excited to share mine with you because I have so many, and honestly most of these I know I talked about on the pod, but also we have so many more people listening now since we've been doing more book content, and so you all probably have not heard me talk about these books, so I'm really excited to talk about them today. And I have my hot cocoa. It's actually Lucky Charms Swiss Miss. Great collab. It's really awesome. So go get your favorite holiday bev. If you listen to Podmas, you know that was part of our intro. I have mine, so go get yours, and then we can talk about my 5-star reads of 2023. So you can see my stack here. You can't see all of it, so there's like a little element of surprise here, but obviously you can see my first 5-star read of the year was Happy Place by Emily Henry, which so much hype, deserved it all. And I know this one's a little controversial actually. Like, I do know so many people ride so hard for Emily Henry and gave this book 5 stars, but I also saw so many people on TikTok rating this book low, and honestly it's kind of one of those books where I think you have to be in the right mindset to read it. Like, I think a lot of people, they just could not relate at all. I could not relate personally, but I still loved it nonetheless. Like, I could not relate to the situation the characters were in, but I think there were pieces of each character that I did find relatable, and I thought it was amazing. I love the way that Emily Henry writes banter. This was also in the era of me discovering I really like second chance romance, and so I think that was a big part of me really loving this book. I don't think I had really read any second chance romance before this, so that was very exciting. So I know you're probably thinking, what the heck, Sam, like April, how did you not have a 5-star book before April? Yeah, I know. It was a really rough time. I actually kind of had a book slump for the first couple months of the year, and I think it's because I rushed at the end of last year to try and finish my Goodreads goal, and so I like jam-packed like 5 books within the last week of December, and so I got to January and I was like, I'm not reading. Like, that was my mindset this year. I got to January and was like, I'm not gonna read, and I think I honestly didn't pick up a book until February. I listened to like an audiobook in January and maybe read a graphic novel, but besides that I did not read any other books, so it took me a long time to get there, but we got there and it was worth the wait, and I'm so glad that this was a 5-star read for me because I love Emily Henry. Kiss kiss. This book is so great. Alright, I don't have physical copies of all of these books also, but this really did set it off for me. I know I said like I did not have any 5-star reads before that book, but it really got the gears turning, and it was just like one after another after that book. And so the next book I read right after Happy Place, I also gave 5 stars, and it was Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. And I actually have not seen very many people rate this book as high as me, which I thought was really interesting. And I mean, I did not expect anything from this book. Like, I did not know what it was about at all. I had not read any Christina Lauren yet, except before I read this, I think I had already read Scandalized, which is, oh my gosh, I can't remember which one. Well, one half of Christina Lauren wrote under the pen name Ivy Owens and wrote a book called Scandalized, and I read that, I think before I read Something Wilder. But I ate this book up, and I was really scared to pick up like any book I had high expectations for after Happy Place, so I think that's why I dove into this. I just checked it out on Libby, read it on my phone, but I read it so fast, I ate it up, and yeah, this, as you can see, it's my second chance romance era was happening here, and I'm not mad about it. This book also had amazing banter. It had like unexpected adventure. I also had not at that point read any like more westerny or like cowboy type romance. This is not a cowboy romance, but like it does have like that western ranch type vibe for a lot of it, but in my head it was very like treasure hunt adventure, fast paced. The romance was great, and I would so recommend this book to anybody, even if you've maybe, I don't know, I just feel like not a lot of people have read this, maybe because so many other Christina Lauren books are so much more popular than this one, but this one has my heart. I have a couple Christina Lauren books that I still need to read, but I love this one so much. Alright, very next read after, I was just on a 5-star kick at the time. Maybe that was fueled by finally being out of my reading slump, but I don't know. But oh my gosh, I could kick my feet. The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This is the first book in a duology that is connected to the Folk of the Air series, which is The Cruel Prince, Wicked King, Queen of Nothing. One of my favorite book series. I read it honestly when I was first getting back into reading in like 2022, and it really showed me how much I love YA and like YA fantasy. I mean, I think like part of me has like matured out of it a little bit now, but I still love to read YA fantasy, especially. Yeah, those are like 6-star books for me for sure, that whole series, and I love it so much, so I was super excited to get back into Elfame, back into the world with this book and follow Oak. I mean, you're not necessarily following Oak himself, but you know, I was excited to get back in it. I'm really excited for the second book of this. I think it comes out at the end of January or maybe February. I could be wrong, but it's one of my 2024 anticipated releases, and that one will probably get 5 stars too, let's be honest. I'm excited to hopefully have more Jarden in book 2. If you know, you know. But yes, I very much recommend this. I'm pretty sure you can read it without reading the Folk of the Air series, but if I were you, I would read those first to really get the full effects, because it just makes sense that way. This was awesome. I don't think I would put it above the original Folk of the Air series, but it is up there right with it, 5 stars, and it just makes me so happy to get back into Elfame. Alright, not a consecutive read with these books, but my next one is Audre Lorde's The Cancer Journals. Very slim, obviously, but I did like make notes in this. This was like one of the first books I actually kind of like annotated this year. She's a voice for liberation. She is so amazing. Her work is incredible. Anyways, this book was very eye-opening, and I think part of it was difficult to read kind of what the perspective was on breast cancer, on having more like radical ideas about womanhood when there's pressure to have mastectomies, to have implants after, all those things. And so it's interesting to see what was happening then at the time when this all happened for her and how she coped with it, reading her journal entries, all of it. It's amazing, and I would recommend this to every woman. My next 5-star read of the year was ACOWAR. I picked up the ACOTAR series again this year. I read the first 2 books last year and then read this one this year. I don't want to say much about it besides that I read it, gave it 5 stars. This one is my favorite from the series, and I've had a hard time moving past it. I read the novella, and I have only read like 30 pages of Silver Flames. Don't know when I'm going to finish it. Don't know if I'm going to finish it. I think one day eventually I will, but currently at this moment I have just like removed myself from this series a lot and don't really have intentions of reading it right now. The romance era is back, so this book is so special to me. First of all, I keep forgetting to like use my sticker for this book. Okay, my next one is It Couldn't Be You by Rebecca Jo Jackson, and this book is everything to me. So first, this is the first arc I ever read this year, and I read the e-arc, was so obsessed with it, bought a signed copy, you know how it is. Really excited. I want to reread this book like starting now, honestly, so it might be the first book I pick up again next year, because I kind of wanted to like reread it along the timeline as things are happening in the book. So go check out her Instagram, see more about this book, go look on Goodreads, everything about it. I recommend it so much. It is a best friend's brother romance, but when you start, Emma is in a relationship that she's like not fully secure in, like she knows she should be very secure in it. Anyways, whatever, runs away from a proposal. There's lingering feelings, things building with someone who's always been in her life, super close to her best friend's brother, Gabe, and they just have the most amazing romance. It is closed door, and it just still has such good like burning tension and sparks even though it's closed door, and I just love it so much. So yes, go read this book. Right after that, I do not have a physical copy of this next one, but I read Funny You Should Ask by Alyssa Sussman. This was a really popular book last year, but I didn't read it until this year. And my friend Tessa Dorico, author, she I stalked her Goodreads, and her review on this book is like exactly how I feel about it. And I think she wrote something like, this book is more myself than anything I've ever written, and like yeah, me too. I feel that. I really loved it. I know in my review I said something about how I felt like sometimes things were a little redundant because you're getting like the telling of what's happening 10 years ago in a flashback, and then you're getting the point of view again in the present, like remembering it, or like how she wrote about it in her like blog articles, whatnot. Tell me why I can't remember half the things about these books now, besides the fact that I ate them up. But I thought some of the flashbacks made things a little redundant, but also they were important because you got to see how tiny details were like changed or different based on like what part of her life she was in. Also like writing things for entertainment versus what's actually happening, leaving things out of what you're writing. Anyways, this romance, on fire, electric. If you love Starstruck, if that's your favorite DCOM, you need to read this book. If you love, I feel like Book Lovers was another one, like obviously, okay, hot take. So you got like a lot of people who absolutely love Emily Henry, love all her books, but it is a very small fraction of Emily Henry fans, I believe, that put Book Lovers as their favorite Emily Henry book. And I'm one of those people, okay? So I feel like the people who put Book Lovers as their absolute favorite Emily Henry book are like very different readers than the people who put Beach Read as their favorite Emily Henry book. Just saying. I don't know. It's a theory. I really believe in this theory. And if you love Book Lovers, you'd love this book. If you love Starstruck, you would love this book. If you liked romantic comedy, you would like this book. But I read that after, so like it doesn't count. So yeah. This book is amazing. I'm really excited to read Once More with Feeling. I'm scared to read that book because I saw a lot of booktubers and people not really give this book good reviews, but with how much I loved Funny You Should Ask, I think I just really like Alyssa Sussman's writing, and I don't think that will impact me, you know? Like, maybe I won't think so negatively about the second book. I mean, it's not like a series, but you know what I mean. Yeah, very excited to read that book as well. My next book on this list is No Coincidences by Tessa Dorico. And listen, guys, I need to tell you something. I don't know what I was thinking. I do not know what I was thinking when I first read this book, because I did not give it 5 stars. But here's the thing. This has not left here. You know what? And that is what makes books 5 stars. Besides, like, everything else you experience while you're reading it. If it has not left your head for good reasons and not you just thinking about not liking it. Like, of course, I think about The Summer I Turned Pretty all the time, but that I don't really like the books. But I have, like, slowly over time found everything that happened here never leaving my head. And so I just need to come to the truth with myself. I've also become very different in my ratings now than I was before, and I feel like I'm not shy to give books 5 stars now, you know? Because I just had a great time reading it. It's amazing. It made me miss college. And I feel like I was in a weird position. Like, when I read it, I was in, like, my missing college, like, post-grad life is weird era. So definitely recommend reading it, even if you have been out of college for a couple years, if you are currently in college, if you are preparing to go to college. Read this book. Read this book. Okay? It's amazing. It's kind of like, I haven't read, like, a book like it, and I think that's what is, like, so cool, is that it's so different from anything I've ever read. I don't know how many other books actually exist that tell the story this book tells, that has mental health representation as good as this book. It's just everything to me, okay? And I'm still, to this day, creating connections from things that are happening in here that I did not think when I read, which makes it extra special. I'm very excited to annotate my physical copy. Yes, I just love this book so much, and we actually also had Tessa on the podcast, so go listen to that episode after you watch this to hear, like, more about the book, because there's some really funny stories she tells us about things in the book that are from real life. So very much recommend. Love it so much, and love Tessa. And there are 2 more books coming in the Campus Crush trilogy, so better read this now while we wait for number 2. All right. Oh, also the last 3 books were, like, a consecutive order. Like, I read It Couldn't Be You, then I read Funny You Should Ask, and then I read No Coincidences. So boom, boom, boom. I love, like, looking at, like, what books were, like, 5 star after 5 star after 5 star, and then, like, how long I went without having another one, because I feel like sometimes it, like, tells me a little bit about, like, what my, like, reading mood was at the time, and, like, I try to look to see if, like, that affected my ratings. Like, if I was kind of in a book slump for a long time, like, was it harder for me to give books 5 stars, or if I just, like, given books 5 stars and was, like, reading the same genre, if I was gonna give all of them 5 stars, you know? Anyways, book slump number 2 really sucked, and I finally recovered by reading People We Meet on Vacation, and it does also live rent free in my head. This book was a hard one for me. I had a hard time getting into it, but it was because of my book slump, and I kept not picking it up because I didn't want my book slump to make me hate this book, and that's what I thought was gonna happen. But it pulled me out, rest assured, and is a 5-star read. Which leaves Beach Read as my only Emily Henry book that has not gotten 5 stars, which makes me feel kind of weird, because maybe it deserves 5 and I should reread it. I think that's what I'm thinking. Maybe next year I reread books I did not give 5 stars. As much as I was, like, annoyed at times and I just wanted to know what happened, I did like the build-up. I liked still being taken aback by what did happen to cause this, like, rift in their friendship. It's just so rom-com-y, so good, and if you haven't read it, you should. Developing Feelings by Sierra Spencer. I need to annotate this copy, but I have a bunch of Kindle highlights on my Goodreads from this, so if you want to go read those and see what it's about, definitely go look. I love this book. I read it after I connected with Sierra. She sent me her upcoming release, and so before that came, I wanted to read some previous things. Well, I only read this one. I meant to read Trope beforehand too, but I have not yet. But yes, so my idea here was that I wanted to read this book before Eastern Standard came in the mail to get, like, you know, settled into her writing style, to like read some of what she's already written. I love this book. I read it so fast, like one sitting, and I really loved the characters. I thought that they were very relatable, even though my life is very different from theirs. It is great. It is so great. Lots of Taylor Swift references, but not as many as in here. We'll get to that. And yeah, it was really great. Go read my highlights because they make me want to kick my feet, and the MMC in this book is just, he's just so good. Okay. Before we get to Eastern Standard, my next 5-star read right after Developing Feelings was The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, the prequel to The Hunger Games, and I borrowed this book from a friend, and I loved it so much. I kind of like was scared to read it because I could not remember what happened in like the original books and movies. Like, I knew some things, but I was like, ooh, am I gonna like be confused ever? And I was not confused. There's also things where I felt like it could have been shortened, but I also loved every second of it, you know? Great book, great movie, except the book is so much better as usual, and the movie just felt so rushed to me. Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to be talking about movies right now, but the movie just felt rushed, and the book is just so much more special to me because you get so much more inside Snow's head. You really have all the relationships cut deep in the book, and in the movie none of them feel real at all. Like, you would not believe how deeply these things actually hurt people in the book if you only see the movie. So if you've seen the movie but not read the book, please read the book. Yes. Alright. Eastern Standard. I love this book. If you missed it, we also had an episode with Sierra during Podmas, and it was awesome. I loved everything I learned from her when she was on, and one of the things was I thought that this red dot had significance on the cover. I presented a theory and it was wrong, so yeah. But this book is everything. It comes out January 5th, so go add this to your TBR and you can pre-order it. Everything. You will love this book. Can't remember what I read after that because it was so good, and it's still in my head just so much. Like, I love Wit, I love Liv, I love Eric. Eric is a side character in that book. He's like not a huge character at all, but he is my favorite character in that book. Alright, super controversial. This book is for the people whose favorite Emily Henry book is Book Lovers. And Happy Place, honestly. Like, both of those, if either one of those is your top Emily Henry book, this book. On the podcast, I talked about how I thought Issa would hate this book, and I love it so much that it is on my 5-star list. It is on my 6-star list. This book has some of the best writing I have ever read in my life. Kate Goldbeck's writing style is so amazing. Like, it is everything that I never knew I needed. I've not read a book like this ever before. It is a great rom-com, but I would say it is also very like contemporary, like lit fic vibes as well. As much as it's a rom-com, it is also, I don't know, it's not giving romance book the whole time, you know? It's supposed to be like a When Harry Met Sally type of romance, and these characters are wildly messy. Like, that is what made me love this book so much, because they are just messy. I don't know how to describe the mess, but in my review I did say that this book was emotional damage the whole time, and it ripped me to shreds, and I would do it all over again. It was like the first book that I actually was like, I cannot turn a page before I tap this. Like, I've had books where I've like highlighted things on Kindle or like made a little note or annotated or whatever, but never did I have the feeling that was like, I cannot turn this page before I go get my tabs to put it on here. So it's amazing. I definitely think it's not for everybody. Like, I was reading so many reviews, and I've been trying not to read reviews before I finish a book so that they don't like change my opinions at all, but I was scared because some of the reviews were not good. But I am now questioning if we even read the same book, because like someone was like, the writing was just like satisfactory and that's it, and I'm like, the writing is the best writing I've ever read. So love this book. I like just read this too, like last week, so it is fresh on my brain and it is so good. Anyways, and the last book on this list I literally finished yesterday, The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. I listened to this on audiobook, which I recommend doing. The audiobook was like good, easy to listen to while I was at work, and it's a very short audiobook. It's only like 5 hours, but I would also be curious to know like what the experience would be like reading the physical book, because I fully intended on reading the physical book, but then I kind of left it till pretty far into the end of the year, and it's on my 10 before the end, and I just knew if I'm gonna finish the last 5 books, now 4, on my 10 before the end, I needed to listen to the audiobook of this at work. So that's what I did, and I really liked it, and yeah, I think it totally deserved all the love it got this year. I'm pretty sure it won the Goodreads like memoir of the year or whatnot. I don't know what the actual thing was called, but it won that, and I loved it. I've not read a lot of memoirs that came out this year, so I don't know really what it was like up against, but I loved it. I thought it was cool to hear the truth about so many stories that like were once just like tabloids or rumors to me. So those are my 5-star reads of the year. Obviously, like, okay, so today is the 23rd when I'm recording this, and I could very well have more 5-star reads before the end of the year, and so I don't want to say hopefully I don't, because I really hope that all the last books on my TBR for my 10 before the ends are 5-star reads, and I think they could be, because some of them are ones that I've just like held off until now on reading. Like right now I'm reading Pride and Prejudice, and I think that could be on this list. I think it'll be at 5-star, but not sure yet, obviously. And I still have like Legends and Lattes and Daisy Jones, and okay, the other one's a Christmas book, so I don't know. But anyways, I still have those books, so those could all be 5 stars. They very well could be, and I'd be so excited if they are. But if you want to know, follow or add me on Goodreads, and follow us on Instagram at likewise_pod to know what I rate the rest of my books from this year. And yeah, hopefully you got like a book rec from this list of something you have not read yet. And if you also rated any of these books 5 stars, definitely let me know. I would love to talk about these books and share favorite quotes, things we loved from it, all that good stuff. So yes, let's be friends. DM us, follow us, everything. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you go follow us on Spotify so you know when we post new episodes, because not everything is going to be video from us. And also, rate and review if you love the pod. Give us a rating on Spotify, Apple Pods, any other streaming platform. We're on like 10 of them. And yeah, we just really hope if you like the pod, you will share with your friends, you'll rate and review, make sure more people can find us, and all that good stuff. But until next time, those are my 5-star reads of 2023, and I really just hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!